So our initiative was based on two things. First thing was to say again what happened. That is one, and two, and that is the title that we have chosen, Israeli attack on humanitarian flotilla for Gaza, beyond the declaration. It is very important for us to say that, yes, it is very positive that we have declarations, we have a certain unanimity in the condemnation of what happened near Gaza, but we have to go beyond the declarations. Then therefore we have prepared this press conference, we have taken contacts with some other NGOs. I'm going to say their name in order to be complete. Association belgo-palestinienne, CNAPD, Coordination nationale pour la paix et la démocratie, Dianet de Belgique, European Muslim Network, Fédération islamique de Belgique, Forum of European Muslim Youth and Student Organizations, Génération Palestine, Justice and Democracy, UETD, Brussels Union of European Turkish Democrats, Union des Mosquées de la Province de Liège, Vereniging voor Ontwikkeling en Emancipatie van Moslims. And here is our declaration. The Palestinian people of Gaza survive in spite of an embargo which has been going on for years. We firmly condemn the latest state terrorism act perpetrated by Israel against civilians who were peacefully heading towards Gaza in order to provide aid, show solidarity, and draw public attention on the unbearable living conditions of the population, the Palestinian population of Gaza. The military operation was carried out while the ships loaded with supplies and medicines were sailing in international waters, which aggravates this violation of humanitarian international law. People on board of the flotilla came from all around the world, voluntary workers, journalists, freedom and peace activists. There were only civilians on board. The supplies were supposed to respond to the needs of the Gaza population. The reality of the crime committed against these civilians by Israel, Israeli soldiers, is unquestionable, and Israel is fully responsible. As always, the Israeli military operation has been condemned by the majority of the international community. It has led to a common political disapproving stance. We note this disapproval with satisfaction. However, we claim that a political stance is not to be confused with civil society's role. Indeed, politicians are not only supposed to condemn legal violation of international law in this case. Beyond the declarations, their role is to take practical measures in order to make this violation stop. Therefore, we launch an urgent appeal to international institutions, in particular to the European Union and the United Nations, as well as national governments around the world, so that they take the following practical measures. One, by virtue of international law, Israel must be held accountable for the lethal attack against civilians and compensate for the damage it has done. Two, the repatriation of all civilians who took part to the expedition, most of whom are currently held in Israeli prisons, must be carried out so as to respect their dignity and guarantee their safety. Three, all restrictions imposed by Israel to humanitarian aid sent to Gaza, these restrictions being a collective punishment, which is forbidden by virtue of the Fourth Geneva Convention, Article 33, must be put to an end and coercive measures must be taken. Four, the Gaza blockade imposed by Israeli authorities must be lifted by virtue of the obligation to stop the occupation of Palestinian occupied territories. Five, an international and independent investigation commission on the lethal attack perpetrated on May 30 must be set up as soon as possible. Israel's OECD and at 6 membership, which was made a reality a few days before these events, must be reconsidered. 7, the EU-Israel Association Agreement must be suspended immediately in accordance with the arrangements of the aforementioned agreement. And 8, the European Union and the United Nations Security Council must implement the Goldstone report's recommendation. About all these concrete measures, if no responsibility and practical measures are taken, national governments and international institutions will strengthen Israelis' feeling of impunity on a very, very dangerous permanent base. International law is at stake and it is urgent to respond. Thank you very much.